Welcome to Fancounters. My name's Nick.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And today on the show, it's something that my kids have been waiting for a while. We are having Kiara Muhammad on the show. She was the original voice of Doc McStuffins.
Yay!
My kids have also recorded some questions for Kiara, so we will play those and have her answer them a little bit later. So there's going to be a massive amount of cuteness on today's show.
Yes.
Now, I had an interesting weekend this past weekend, Elizabeth. I am in my big video season.
Oh, yes, it's dance season.
It's all starting now. So I don't do a lot of photography, but I do still do photos for one client as well as their video. And so I'm really meticulous about packing things for the photo portion because I'm not used to having to do it. So the photo portion went well on Friday night. Went back on Saturday to do the filming for them. I'm ready to unload my car when two glaring pieces of equipment are missing. Tripod A and tripod B. I have nothing to hold up my cameras. I was like, crap, I'm going to have to go back to Milwaukee. I was in Chicago.
Oh, mother of God.
I was going to have to go back to Milwaukee from Chicago, get the tripods, and come back the next day to film.
Wouldn't it just have been easier to run to a store and buy one?
Bam! You would think so. So you ask Surrey, where's the closest Best Buy? Best Buy is located 2 miles away. Oh, sweet. I have an hour and a half. I should easily be able to do a 4-mile round trip and get tripods, right?
Not in Chicago traffic.
Exactly. Okay, so it's all city streets. It's not any freeway, so that's good. But Chicago people do not go on a green light.
Well, no, because there's usually cars ahead of them that there's no place for them to go to.
Well, and also there are continuing to go through red lights because they're already halfway through the intersection, so you have to wait for those people. So right. I'm really frustrated, and I'm just like, every time I can go, I'm slamming on the gas. Remember that movie? It was Meet the Parents. Okay. I must have the wrong name. Robert De Niro and Ben Stiller were on a chase to get home first, right? So they're like speeding to the stop sign, you know, and then back and forth. That's what this was like, going to this Best Buy. So I get to the mall, and I'm driving around the mall. I'm like, there is no Best Buy here, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, maybe it's one of those that are attached to the mall inside. So I go inside the mall. There's a Best Buy mobile.
Phone store.
Okay. That did not work. Ran back to my car. People must think I'm a crazy person. So I run back to my car, get back in, start driving. I'm calling my wife. I'm like, look up a Best Buy. Tell me who's got tripods. So she's doing that. And I'm like, ooh, Walmart. Walmart's going to have a cheapo tripod. I'll go there. Get into Walmart, run into Walmart, no tripods. They don't even sell them.
What?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. So go back in the car. I'm wasting a whole bunch of time. My wife gives me an address of a Best Buy to go to that has tripods in stock. Perfect. Wrote down the wrong name of the road. Get to the address where I think a Best Buy is going to be. There's nothing. I call my wife. I'm like, I thought you said the address was this. She goes, no, it's on this road. I'm like, oh, that was another 1.7 miles or 17 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
So I go towards that Best Buy store, and time is ticking away. It's after 1 o'clock. The show starts at 2. I'm like, am I going to have enough time? And finally get to Best Buy, get the tripods, go back. I arrive back at the theater at 1:34, 26 minutes to set up for the show.
Oh, my God.
Of course, I'm a professional. I was able to do it. But what I laughed about was on the boxes, these tripods says, heavy-duty tripod. A small breeze could have blown these things over. It's a good thing that I was a professional, and even, I mean, the people who film for me with my company are really good, but they're not that good. These tripods were such a piece of garbage. I had to actually hold on not only to the camera and the stick, I had to physically bend it to move it because it wasn't swiveling.
No.
It was swiveling real jerky. So yeah, it turned out really well. I'm 2/3 of the way through the show, and they won't know the difference, but
never again.
Wow.
Get the checklist.
Yeah, I got to make a checklist. But you know what? Last year I sent one of my filmers to a show with no memory cards.
Oh.
That turned out to be bad. So I've never since forgotten memory cards. I will never since forget.
You will never
tripods.
Forget a tripod again.
Anyway, all right. So that's my horrible
Oh my goodness.
weekend story that turned out to be okay after all. So today on the show, we've mentioned we have the original voice of Doc McStuffins, Kiara Muhammad. And she was on that hit Disney Junior show, and I'm sure your kids watched it.
Lily was a huge fan.
Yep, so this will be really... Yeah. My kids still ask for it, so...
Yeah, well, Lily will watch the newer one.
Yeah, that's a toy hospital.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's not Kiara's gig, but that's okay. You might have also seen her on the pilot of Mike and Molly. She was on Curb Your Enthusiasm in a very funny skit with Larry David playing Girl Scouts, who he orders a bunch of cookies and then says, nope, don't want them.
Oh, my gosh.
Won't pay him. And then she was also on Hannah Montana.
Wow. Currently, Kiara is a theater major at USC, and today she'll bring us up to date on her career and where she's headed after college.
Coming to you from nowhere near the entertainment capital of the world, this is Fancounters, the podcast.
You need to come to Hollywood. I'm going to make you famous.
There was this mob of people, and they're screaming my name.
Crazy fans.
Stop following me. Don't come around my house. If you do, the cops are going to be at yours.
I think this guy wants to fight me. Ended up being a fan.
And they pull out of their backpack dozens and dozens and dozens of pictures of my face and tell me to sign all of them.
Are you kidding me?
I continually will get stopped.
Can I take a picture? We're gonna. Oh my God.
I definitely declined signing body parts.
Oh, I don't want to go there.
I'm the only one that's ever spit on Sam Jackson and lived to tell about it.
That's why we call it Fancounters.
I don't think you're going to last on the air very long.
Kiara, welcome to Fancounters. We're glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
So you are an East Coast girl, originally living in Boston and New York, but then you made the move to LA to pursue acting. How long did it take for you once you got to LA to get that first acting job?
It's actually a funny story because my very first acting job was a USC student film, and I currently go there now. So
Ooh,
it's really like full circle. It was a student film about this girl who puts quarters in meters for people who forget. And there's like, I guess just angry cop who just always wants to give tickets. So I start going in front of him, and it's just like a comedy, a silent film where we just are following each other and he's trying to catch me.
Aw, and
funny.
you're young at that point, right? I mean, under 10.
Oh yeah, I was like probably 8 years old or 9.
Is the film still available? Like, can people see it or?
I feel like it's on YouTube. If you like search my name and type in meter, I'm sure something will come up of
All
it.
right, I'm going to look that up later. All right, we might even link it to our page on Facebook. So when you moved to LA, was it an easy move for your family to make, or did you guys have to weigh out a lot of pros and cons before you did that?
I definitely feel like they weighed the pros and cons because, you know, I was so young, and it's a big risk to like completely move your whole family across the country and then leave your other family that was there. But I am very grateful they did it because, you know, I don't think I would be where I am today if I had stayed in Boston. I know like a lot of things are filming in Boston and on the East Coast now, but back then it definitely was not how it is now. So I feel it would have been a lot harder. My parents have always been super supportive, which I'm just blessed that they're like that.
Did your mom go with you?
Or did the whole family move?
My whole family moved here, yeah.
Oh, the whole family came, so you didn't split up
my
and
mom,
divide
my
and conquer.
dad, and my sister.
Talk to us a little bit about your journey in your early career. You put on an enormous amount of training hours, specifically training with casting director workshops and getting as successful as you are. Talk to us about the benefits you found doing those workshops and why inspiring actors should consider doing them.
I feel like, especially if you're just getting started, it's a good way to get your face out there. I know specifically when I would go and I would talk to them and I would like audition for them, I guess, in a sense. And they would call me in for things they're working on. So they do remember you if they like you. Okay. So I always felt like it was worth it because that's how my name got into the door and I got opportunities to audition for some of these things that I've done.
So your sister's older than you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did she have
She's 21.
Yeah, we talked a little bit in email about this, but for our audience, did she have an interest in acting as well? Was this move also for her, or was she just kind of like, yeah, okay, I'll go along with it?
I think it was for both of us at first because we both were in it. She did like more commercials. She's always been more athletic, and she was always involved in basketball and basically every sport, but basketball was the main one. And she did a Kellogg's commercial where she's playing softball.
Okay.
And I think after that, she realized like she just wanted to focus on sports and it wasn't for her. And, you know, she was like 12, so she couldn't just move back to Boston.
Right. You're stuck here now.
Yeah. So, yeah, she kind of, I guess, just let me do my thing. She did her thing. And, yeah. we both had fun doing the things we liked more.
Okay.
Along with an amazing career, you have also excelled in your academics. Even when you were younger, how did you balance the workload of auditioning, working, and doing your schoolwork to stay an honor student? How did that all work for you back then?
I think it's because my mom, she always emphasized how important an education is. So I think I just really took that to heart, and I made sure that was my number one priority, regardless of whether I was working or not. So yeah, I think that's inspired from my mom. But I feel like now it's a lot harder that I'm in college. I have so much more work. But when I was younger, you know, I was doing like math problems or things like that I guess they could seem hard at the time, but compared to now, that was a breeze. And I think that's why it was easier for me. And it's also easy that they give you have to have 3 hours of school on set. So I could finish it in that time.
Okay.
And still work.
So how far are you in your college career now?
I'm a sophomore right now.
Kind of an interesting family dynamic for you because your dad is a talent manager, right?
Yes.
And your family, your whole family's been very musical as well. Was there ever a time where you thought that maybe the music path might be your key to success rather than acting? Or did your dad notice early on that, hey, my daughter's really, great at voice acting and character acting, and we're going to go that way?
I think I did. I definitely recorded a whole album for kids. I think as I went on, I realized acting was like my number one thing. Even though I really loved singing, I foresaw it not working out because I kind of have stage fright. When I sing in front of people, I get really nervous.
Okay.
And it like affects my voice. So I don't know. I just know I'm not about to be a Beyonce who's like confident on stage and can do anything she wants, basically. But I still do want to sing. Like, if I become even more successful with acting and I get an opportunity to sing, of course, I would take it.
I was telling Elizabeth before that we got on the phone with you that this Curb Your Enthusiasm episode that you were on was hilarious. The fact that you played a Girl Scout selling cookies, he decides to buy some, and Larry David doesn't want to pay for them, which is so funny. But I read that was your first improv audition that you had ever done. What did they make you do in that audition that landed you the role?
It was basically what you saw in the episode. They just said, there's no script. This is the situation you're in. Go. And so I just acted like how I feel like I normally would if someone was rude like that, saying I want the cookies but I don't want to pay.
Right.
That's not how it works. Right. So obviously I'm going to try to get the money and stop you before you like go back in your house or something.
Was Larry David part of the audition?
Yes, he was.
Oh, wow.
I in the callback, I like did the scene with him.
Cool.
Even if you didn't get the part, that would be something you could go home and tell that story forever.
Right.
Exactly.
So we read that your first voiceover audition ever was from Doc McStuffins, and of course you booked that. What was that like?
That was crazy. I remember the day my dad told me that I got that because, like, as an actor, sometimes I remember my acting teacher would always tell me, go in, do your very best, and then forget about it. So you're not, like, anxious, like, oh, I really wanted this role or anything, because I believe, like, if something's meant for you, it's going to happen. So my dad told me, he picked me up from school. I think I was in, like, 7th grade, and he was like, hey, you got that role, that voiceover role. I was like, really? Because I had seen girls who I knew had, done way more voiceover work at least than me. So I was, not that I knew I wasn't bad. I wasn't good or anything, but I just figured, if you have more experience, they tend to cater to that more than someone who doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. It was really cool. A very different experience. I didn't have to spend much time, I feel like, recording. I would go after school for like 2 hours maybe, and once a week, and that was it.
Really?
And that was like one episode. Yeah.
Wow. So that they got you in and out pretty much.
Yeah, I always would try to make sure I was prepared too. Like, I would read the script and I would learn the songs beforehand. So when I would go in, it would take like 15 minutes to sing the song and probably like an hour, hour and a half to do the episode.
Did they already have the music done for the song before you went in?
They did, yes. I think the only thing is always the animation that was last. And I think that's why people say animation takes so long. The actual, like, acting part doesn't, but the actual, like, making the cartoon takes so long.
So when you started doing Doc McStuffins, and it turned out to be a hit show, at the time, was it weird to think, oh, man, my fan base is 3- and 4-year-olds?
It was an adjustment because it's not like, you know, a toddler's walking up to you like, oh, my God, are you Kiara Muhammad?
Right.
It's like parents who are coming like, oh, my God, my daughter or my niece loves that show. Can I get an autograph or something like that? And I don't know. It just feels weird that they're, like, so much older than me and kind of, like, you know, fangirling. I just feel like it was just a little weird for an adult to come to me. But it makes sense, obviously, because their child loves the show and they love their child. But I don't know. It just, the very first time it happened, I was kind of like, oh, you care about me. But yeah, it was cool.
So
a little different. I get like parents who follow me on social media and I'm like, why do you really want to follow me? Like, I don't even do it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one thing to create a voice and be able to deliver lines, but it's a completely different thing to sing in that voice. Did you find that to be hard, or did you find that, because we watched a lot of Doc McStuffins, and I guess they were pretty flawless. You know, like you could tell that she was singing.
I'd say for me personally, like the voice is just a higher pitched voice of mine, I feel like.
Okay.
So it wasn't necessarily that hard. Like, I don't feel like I was putting that much effort into, like, creating a whole different voice. And I think that's why I just did a higher pitched voice, because I knew that would probably be hard to, like, keep that voice for a whole series, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it was that difficult. And even if they would tell me, like, sometimes I would go a little into my regular voice and they'd be like, no, go a little higher. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, so they gave you some direction along the way.
They let you know.
Would they ever do table reads with the cast to make sure the script worked?
No, we never did one table read. I was really sad. I would see them in passing, like if I was leaving or coming in, I would see another cast member, and we'd chat for a little bit before we had to go in.
I just wonder, though, but do they do other variations of the same line? You know, like if you go to a TV taping for a sitcom, they're changing the lines, they're trying out different things to get an audience reaction. Here, there's no audience, but do they at least have you doing lines, you know, with different words or different jokes or anything like that, or is the script the script?
I feel like it was pretty true to the script most of the time. I feel like it was very rare that they may have come across something where they're like, oh, that may not work, and they'll change it right there and tell me to say that instead. But I do remember every line, there's 3 takes, and you just try to do each time a different way. So they would have options once the animation came out, and once they figured out how exactly, like, what they want Doc to emote during that part of the episode or something like that.
The name of our podcast is Fancounters, and we love to hear stories of our guests that have encountered with their fans. So do you have any good stories to tell us?
I don't know if I have good stories. Like I told you guys, since it's voiceover, you know, I don't feel like many people know my face more than my voice. But I did experience one time I was in a Disney store with my aunt, and because my family, they're kind of crazy. They'll go in every Disney store and see what Doc McStuffins toys they have and all this stuff. They want to see what they have. And my aunt was talking about it like, oh, this sounds like you. And there was someone there. And the mom, like, looks over from her stroller. She's like, I'm sorry, did you just say you're the voice for Doc McStuffins? And my aunt's like, oh, yep, that's her. And she was like, oh, my God, my daughter loves your show. She's like, can you sign this toy? I'll buy it right now.
Oh, my gosh.
That's cute.
Yes.
Now,
yes, I will sign it, of course.
Do you have Doc McStuffins toys?
I don't have anything with me, but my mom definitely has a whole, like, shrine of Doc McStuffins things in
cute.
our house at home that she has kept.
Okay.
Because she keeps everything related to her children.
Now, but because obviously that's not your normal everyday voice, but do you ever, like, fall into it and then people do, like, a double take, like, hey, you sound like Doc McStuffins?
I don't feel like I fall into it. The only time I think I do it is when people ask me, like, I've had friends ask me to, like, record a birthday message, or my parents will ask for their friends' children to get, like, a message like, happy birthday, Sofia. Thanks for watching the show. Love, Doc. Like, something like that.
Okay.
And then my friend Alexis, she has a bunch of little cousins, so it would be on, and she's like, it's so weird just being in the house, hearing your voice, but you're not there. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
When you were doing the voice, like, I know Nickelodeon would send out Fatima Potasic, who does Dora's voice. She would do, like, book readings for, like, at bookstores and things like that. Did you ever have those times where you had to go out publicly to, like, read a book in the voice or do things like that?
I don't think so. I think it was just I did the voice for the show, and then I would go in and record voices for, like, toys and dolls and things like that.
Okay.
But I don't think I ever went out and, like, read for people. So I did one time, and I was home in Boston. I went to my cousin's summer camp, but I wouldn't say that was, like, through Disney. Like, my cousin just asked me if I could come.
Exactly. Okay.
You did more than just Doc's voice. You're saying that you were some of the toys as well?
Oh, no. I mean, like, when there was a new toy, Doc McStuffins toy
she would
coming
voice
out,
the toys in
I
the
would
store.
go in and record.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
Got it.
There was, like, one time I had to record, like, I swear it was 10,000 names. I had to say, hi, Paul. Hi, Peter. Hi, Patricia. Like, all these names in a row. But it still went fast, so.
Okay.
Now, let's turn the tables a little bit. You told us about meeting your fans, but what about, have you been starstruck around a celebrity that you've gotten to meet?
I feel like I'm past my starstruck phase, but I'd say the most, like, fangirling I've done probably is for Beyonce. I was standing next to her at Coachella. Not this year, but 2014, I think.
How did that happen? Like, how do you get near Beyonce?
My uncle is Nas's DJ, so we could be in, like, the VIP area, and we were on the side of the stage, like, while he was performing, and Beyonce came. There were a bunch of people. There's, like, Lana Del Rey, Harry Styles, Pharrell, Usher, a bunch of people. I was in heaven.
Yeah, that sounds like the ultimate fan geeking out moment.
Yeah.
So did you say anything to any of them?
No. I wanted to be professional and act like I was supposed to be there. You know?
Okay. All right.
Like I was meant to be there. So,
yes.
Do you have a favorite Doc McStuffins episode?
I think I liked the episode I did where Lammy gets sick. It was just very, like, I feel like a very intimate episode. And, like, you knew that Lammy and Doc were obviously good friends because that's one of her first toys. But I think you got to see, like, even more into their relationship in that episode.
Okay.
And how much they really care about each other. So I liked how cute that episode was.
Now, Kiara, I have twin 6-year-olds, and they were quite excited when I told them I would be talking to Doc McStuffins today.
So was my 8-year-old. She was pretty impressed.
So they recorded a question each for you. Now, one of my daughters was really happy to do it, and the other one got really, really shy. So do you want to start with happy or shy?
Let's do shy.
All right. This is my daughter, Mackenzie, and her question.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie, and I'm 6 years old. What's your favorite character on Doc McStuffins?
My favorite character on Doc McStuffins?
Yes.
they all have really good qualities, like certain qualities that really just add to the dynamic of the show. But I feel like I really like Hallie.
Oh, she's cool.
Hallie's my favorite too.
Yeah. Who is the actress that does that?
Loretta Devine.
Yes.
Yes,
she's
I
hilarious.
love her. She has some of those phrases that are just like, is that a real phrase sometimes? But like it still works with her character. I don't know. She's just funny to me.
Yeah, she does a lot of made up words, which is pretty funny. All right, so Madison's got a question. This is more something about you. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Madison and I'm 6-year-old. What was your favorite stuffed animal when you were growing up?
So your favorite stuffed animal when you were growing up?
I definitely loved this bunny I had. It was a decently sized bunny and the ears were really long and bendy. So I would always feel like I was like doing its hair when I would play with the ears. Like I would like twist them and try to do like cool designs. And I feel like it was always on my bed when I was sleeping. So I'd say that bunny.
And I'm just going to give Nick a little McStuffin trivia because I don't think that he's going to remember this. But Stuffy is played by the same actor who played Cousin Oliver on The Brady Bunch.
No way.
Way.
That's the guy?
You're right.
Way, yes. And I had known that there was like some weird kind of connection with one of the stuffed animals, and that was it. Stuffy is played by, what is his name? Robert Reist?
Robert, yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he played Cousin Oliver on The Brady Bunch.
Well,
Yes, that's so funny you brought that up because I remember the first time he told us all that. We were like, what?
Yeah, well, you're not old enough to remember it, but we are old enough to have watched the
wait
show.
a minute now.
Okay, I am.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Okay.
I am old enough. Nick is not.
I have seen reruns of The Brady Bunch. I know who Cousin Oliver is. I was not watching them live. Thank you.
Was. Okay.
Jeez. So, my twins watched this show, obviously, from the time they were 2, 3, 4, whatever. And in fact, the very first seasons, those are your episodes, we've got in the car. They still watch them. So, as a parent, you come to think of this show as kind of this like, I mean, it's a little weird, this little girl who's got this thing where she can bring toys to life, but only toys in her proximity and not toys everywhere, and it's just a little weird. So I have a theory about this, and I've Googled it, and other people have this theory too. So can we tell you the theory and see if you have any thoughts on it?
The man is crazy, but just go ahead and go with it, okay?
Okay, yes, I'm
Okay.
clear.
So the theory on the internet is that Doc McStuffins is a child with a severe mental illness. She lives with her doctor mom for care and has vivid hallucinations of her toys coming to life and interacting with her. Isn't that genius?
That's not genius. Can't you just shut up and enjoy the Disney ride? I mean, must everything be so cynical? Can't she just be a cute little girl who helps her stuffed animals through their day?
Well, another theory thought that she might be the one hurting them. And
What?
Then fixing them back to life. I'm serious.
That's in a different Disney movie. That's Sid from Toy Story.
But Sid, yeah, I don't know.
No.
Yeah,
See, isn't that just wrong? You just take my perfectly good, nice little girl and turn her into some mental illness case. Doc is perfectly sane,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like she's just a pure little girl who has this power.
That's right.
And uses it to her best ability to help them out.
It's her superpower.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm going with it. I just thought it would be fun to talk to you about it.
Whatever.
When the voice switched over to, I think her name's Leia, right?
Yes.
Was that a weird experience for you when you didn't get called in? Like, did you know the end was coming, and had you met the new voice, upon departure, or how does that all work when they switch the voice?
I didn't meet her. They had just sent us an email like, I think we're gonna go in a different direction. And I was like, okay, cool, because I'm getting older anyway, so I didn't know how long I was going to be able to do this high-pitched voice anyway. But yeah, it wasn't like awkward. I'm very grateful for that opportunity. I loved everyone who was on the cast and crew, and I hope they would continue it since it's such a good show. I don't feel like it was at its point yet where it needed to end.
Right. And now they introduced the whole new thing. So
how many years total were you Doc McStuffins?
I'm pretty sure I did like 60 episodes. So I think that's maybe, I did 2.5 seasons. And then they also had that little like mini series, the Doc Files.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know what that is. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did. I think I ended it. I was a junior in high school.
Okay.
I think so.
So you're in college now. You told me that you were in a play. So tell us about what it's like auditioning, in a college campus instead of on a, for a show or something like that. How has that been different for you, and what's this play experience been like for you?
It was very different because I'm not used to like projecting. Since I've only done like television and film, you don't really have to talk loud. They have the mic on you, right above you.
Right.
And you don't have to be very like as physical, unless of course it's like an action movie or something. But yeah, it was a very different experience, but I'm glad I did it because I had never done it before, and now it's just another thing added to my experience. And it'll only help me in the future. Say I do another play or I do like a live musical. Now I have this at least to reference to. I also really love the cast. Like, we got super close. We only rehearsed for, like, we were only together 5 weeks, including the playtime.
Wow.
Like the performance. We had rehearsal every day, 6 to 10, and 10 to 3 on Saturdays. So it was a lot of time we spent together, but it had a really cool message. It was about police brutality and how it's just a never-ending cycle of Black people being killed for no reason. Yeah. And I'm just really glad I could be a part. It was my first play here or ever, or other than I did Charlotte's Web in like 2nd grade. But
no, that doesn't count. No, we won't count that. What's the name of this show?
It's called Counting. It was written by a student here. Her name's Aja Houston, and she's amazing. The writing it was phenomenal. We were sold out every day, so that was exciting.
Oh, wow, nice. Very cool. Was it a full-length play, like it was a 90-minute experience, or?
Yeah, it was 90 minutes in one of our theaters here on campus. And, we had a bunch of different people from all over come see it. And we had a talk back after to, like, clarify some things, because some of it's kind of ambiguous, but once you had the talk back, you, like, completely understood the whole message. And everyone said, yeah, it was really great, so.
Congratulations. That sounds awesome.
Good job.
Thank you.
You auditioned for the Hunger Games for the part of Are
Yes.
You?
Rue, have you not seen the Hunger Games?
Are you kidding? Why would I see the Hunger
Games?
I did because he puts them out phonetically for me, and that's what I thought it was. I have not seen the Hunger Games because that also looks scary.
Oh my God.
I don't do anything scary. Nothing scary. No horror, nothing that's going to scare me.
It's not scary.
Okay, let me read the question again. What is it? Rue?
Rue.
All right, then. You auditioned for the Hunger Games for the part of Rue. How do you feel that audition went?
It was really good. I definitely was being considered to be the girl. It's just, since they're in a district where they don't have food, you have to be like bone skinny, and I'm not. So they went with Amanda, who did amazing. So I'm happy for her. That really jumpstarted her career. But I do remember I was very upset. I'd say that was the most upset I was about any audition I've ever had. Like, I actually cried when they told me I didn't get it.
Okay.
But I also feel like it just motivated me more to keep going. And like I told you, I believe everything happens for a reason. So I knew that wasn't my calling, and something in the future was going to be better.
So you did do some episodes of Sofia the First, another animated show on Disney Junior. Was the way that they record voices different from how you did Doc McStuffins, or was it pretty much all the same?
I'd say it was the same. You just go in and you do your line, And that was it. And then I also had to sing a song for one episode, so we did that too. But yeah, pretty much the same procedure. It didn't take as long because obviously I wasn't the main character in the show. But yeah, it was fun to work with them and for them to give me that opportunity.
So that was another Disney show. And then we saw you on Hannah Montana, the movie Den Brother. So I'm just wondering, if you're in the Disney family, do they invite you to guest star since you're already doing another show, or are you auditioning for these roles?
I definitely auditioned for all of these things, but I'd say like the reason I got the audition was because they already knew like how I act and that, I could do it. Whereas maybe if I hadn't done work with them before, they may have not given me the opportunity to audition. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely about connections, because also the casting director, at the time, the casting directors were the same casting directors for Den Brother as they were for Hannah Montana. So that definitely played in my favor.
Do you feel that once you're in the Disney family, you're always in the Disney family?
I mean, yeah, like, because you worked for them, so I guess if that's what they want to consider the family.
Okay.
But I know, like, some people, like, don't want to be associated with it afterwards.
Well, obviously, Miley Cyrus worked really hard to not be associated with it.
Yes.
So you guest starred on many hit shows like Hannah Montana, Mike and Molly, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Do any of those experiences stand out to you over another one for any reason?
I'd say I just really loved working on Hannah Montana just because at the time I was like 11, so I loved that show. I was literally flabbergasted. I was actually on set, like with the people I would watch since I was 8 years old, And they were all really nice. I did school with Miley and Lily. So yeah, it was just, they were all welcoming. And yeah, I think I was kind of starstruck.
Were you doing Doc McStuffins at that same time, or did that come after?
Oh no, I think I started Doc McStuffins when I was 12.
Okay. So
maybe the following year, I think I started after Hannah Montana.
Was it surprising for you when, she did what Elizabeth just said, distanced herself from Disney and went so far to the other side? Because you had that moment with her on set, was that kind of like a little surreal for you to watch her do that?
I feel like, she just got older and realized she didn't want to be like viewed as, the goody two-shoes. I feel like it's really hard to be in the spotlight of like a child star for a children's show because especially the face, like it's different for me because, people don't really know my face, just know my voice. But they see her everywhere on TV, on T-shirts, at the amusement park. She did like the Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana concert. So I just feel like it was a lot of pressure to just always have to be good. So then, she decided to be the complete opposite. And now I feel like she's toned down. Yeah, I think she felt restricted for a while. And that was her finally being free.
So, Kiara, you can cry on command, I've read. Is that true? What's your method for that?
You know what? I really don't know. I just have a vivid memory being in acting class when I was like 10. And that was the first time I cried on command. And I remember my acting teacher was saying, sometimes it helps to think about, someone you love who has maybe passed away or something like that. And I don't know, it just works. But I don't feel like I thought of someone who had passed away because fortunately no one in my family has really passed away in my immediate family. But yeah, I don't know. I just remember I could do it. And I've done it ever since. So
it's a very good skill. Yeah. Mother's Day is coming up. Have you ever given your mom what you think is the ultimate gift, or what do you think is the ultimate gift?
I don't think I've given her the ultimate gift yet. I feel like the ultimate gift is going to be when I'm so successful that she doesn't have to do anything anymore, and I can just pay
Take
for
care of
whatever, and she can just chill since she's done so much for me already. But we do have Mother's Day planned. We're doing a road trip to Florida to see my grandma.
You are driving from California to Florida?
From Boston to Florida.
Oh, Boston. Oh, well, still, that's sort of worse. I mean, that's equally as bad.
That's not any better. But it's nice to put those 3 generations together. That's very nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, Kiara, you launched a YouTube channel back in 2017, and I watched some of your videos when you first started and your plans for the channel and everything, but it seems like we haven't heard from you lately. Are you still actively doing the YouTube thing, or did you hit the brakes on it?
Okay. So here's the deal. I've been so busy. Also, my computer doesn't have space, and I just haven't bought a what do you call it? The thing you can
like an external hard drive or something.
Yeah, an extra hard drive or something. Also, I had my own room at the beginning of the year when I filmed one, and then I got a roommate again. So then I haven't had, my personal space to, set up my stuff again.
Okay.
So hopefully next year, next semester, I'll have more space and I'll be able to get it going again. It just takes so long to edit, and I already have so many other things I'm doing. I think in the long run, I didn't realize how much work it actually is.
I say that every day about this podcast.
Yes.
I had no idea how much work this actually is.
Because Nick has to do all the work. I just show up and talk, and then I go home. And this poor man has to do everything else.
That's life.
But you're right. Editing takes a long time. You want to make sure you get everything right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to just anything out.
Well, it's your name brand. You don't want to just send something out there that you're not proud of.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're majoring at USC.
Mm-hmm.
What is the, are you projected to graduate in 2 years?
I am, 2020.
Okay.
Nice. And what are you going to do with the degree? What do you hope to do?
Where are you headed?
My mom really wants me to get a master's.
Ah.
But I don't know if school is really not for me. I really just want to be auditioning and focusing on that. But we'll see, because she told me, I really thought you had to major in the thing you were going to get a master in, but I guess not.
No, not at all.
I guess I could do psychology because I have a minor in that. But yeah, we'll see. I really don't think it's for me, but we're going to see. Maybe my opinion will change by the time I graduate.
Well, and the master's degrees, depending upon, I have one, and the master's degrees I felt easier because most of the master's degree programs work in 6 weeks at a time. You do this class for 6 weeks, and then you do this class for 6 weeks, then you do, or 6 or 8 weeks. So I, like yourself, really thought college was, when will this ever end? And I took a little break and then went back and got my master's degree. And my master's degree is in management, completely unrelated to my other degrees.
What's your other degree? What was your undergrad?
I have one I majored in communication arts, mass media, and advertising, and then I have a minor in economics and a minor in physical education, athletic training, and coaching.
Whoa, you're all over the board.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Well, I was there and I was paying for it, so I was going to get as much stuff as I could before I walked out the door.
Yeah, honestly.
So you have a great singing voice. Is there any chance you want to move back to New York and go on Broadway?
I definitely, I've always wanted to do Broadway. I'd say my dream roles are Wicked, Hairspray, or Dreamgirls. I can't sing high well. I'm not a soprano at all. I'm definitely an alto, so that was just shut down.
Okay.
As I realized.
And you talked about love in your very first YouTube video. And you mentioned that you hadn't experienced it yet. So that was over a year ago. So have you been hit by Cupid in the last year or so?
I would not say so.
Okay.
I've been just focusing on school and acting. I very much want to be solidified in what I'm doing and my happiness first before I enter a relationship.
Love it. Very good. Very good.
And, well, I have
Thank you.
I have more Doc McStuffins trivia for Nick. So the voice of Lammy is the actress Laura Jill Miller.
Right.
Do you know what show she starred on as a kid?
Ask Kiara.
Kiara, do you know?
I remember she said it. I can't remember right now.
She starred on. She starred as Sam Kaninsky on "Give Me a Break."
What's that?
Yes, Give Me a Break.
With Nell. What was Nell's last?
Carter.
Nell Carter, right? Remember
Never
Nell
saw it.
Carter was.
I know who she
What?
is. I never saw the show.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
This boy needs to get out more.
Well, Kiara, thanks for spending your time with us. Where can we find you on social media?
All my usernames are Kiara_Muhammad. So I have Instagram, Twitter, and I have Facebook, but I don't really go on there. So I just say Instagram and Twitter.
Nobody uses Facebook anymore. Jeez.
Hey, it's the only one I know.
That's because you're old.
I know. Nick was so excited. We got what did we get? We got an Instagram and a something else.
And a Twitter we just launched, yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand how they work.
Yeah, well, now we're trying to get everybody to come over there from Facebook. So.
But I don't understand how it works. So.
And do you have anything else coming up that you wanted to promote?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm just ready for summer.
Now, are you auditioning at all while at school or just taking these years off?
Oh, no, I've been auditioning.
Okay.
I send in a lot of self-tapes.
Okay.
And I actually have one due this week that I have to do. But, yeah, I've been auditioning. I've been trying to balance it because that was the reason I did theater as a major, is so I could, be acting because we take acting classes for credit.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I didn't get rusty or anything.
Now, is home back in Boston now? Is that where your parents went back to?
Yeah, my family moved back to Boston when I came here my freshman year, but we had lived in Burbank for 10 years.
Okay.
So.
All right, Kiara. Best of luck to you. If you ever do want to come back on to promote something, please send us an email. We'd love to have you back.
Oh, I definitely will. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what a cutie pie.
Our thanks to Kiara Muhammad for joining us this week on Fancounters. So interesting to learn about the voiceover star that she is and find out some behind-the-scenes stuff.
Well, I guess I was surprised at I know that there are people that leave and go do voice work. Like the girl from Facts of Life is Velma on Scooby-Doo. Mm-hmm. And that some of the voices that are on Doc McStuffins have also done other things. But I just find that to be the ultimate job, right?
Oh,
I mean,
totally.
She went to school all day, ran into the studio, did 2 hours of work.
Yep.
And she will forever be Doc McStuffins.
Yeah.
So whether you can see her face or not, you can get that voice out of her. You'll know.
Yep. And she still has that a little bit when you talk to her. I'm
we didn't ask her to actually do Doc McStuffins.
No.
But you could hear it in her voice. But, good luck to her. I appreciate anybody who goes to college and sticks through it, even though, they want to get out there and get acting. I really do appreciate anyone who puts a big emphasis on education, and kudos to her mom for making sure she does.
Right. And especially something to fall back on. If these other future roles don't come, she always can go to work doing
something else.
Maybe even production or staying in the business. So good luck to you, Kiara. Thanks for joining us. Next week, we're going to do the new Doc McStuffins. Can you believe it? It's a back-to-back episode.
It's all McStuffins all the time.
Right. So we're going to get the experience that Leia DeLeon Hayes has on the show and find out what other projects she has coming up. She'll be on the show joining us next week.
That's right.
Join us again, and we'll see you next Friday.
See ya.